Lever actions are used to live in saddle scabbards and cowboy movies. But now they're showing up with M-lock slots, suppressors, and red dots. I am about to show you some rifles dropped in 2025 to prove that the lever gun isn't just surviving, it's evolving into something a whole lot meaner. What's up, everyone? This is Ted from Line 45, and today, we're talking about lever guns from 2025 that came in hot and flipped the script on what a cowboy rifle is supposed to be. Before I start, I would really appreciate it if you would push those buttons below, the subscribe button, the notification bell, all of them. This is not necessary, but those little clicks help a brother out. Plus, it pushes me to give you more valuable car-related content on your screen. Now, buckle up, and let's get back to the video. Smith & Wesson Model 1854 Stealth Hunter. Smith & Wesson building a lever-action rifle wasn't just overdue. It was something I didn't know I needed until I shot the 1854 Stealth Hunter. This thing feels like the company took everything they've learned from decades of revolvers and polymer pistols and dropped it into a modern lever gun built to work, not just to look cool hanging on the wall. Mine's chambered in .357 Magnum, and it eats .38 special without a hiccup. The threaded stainless barrel is 19.25 inches, with a solid matte finish that holds up well to real use. The synthetic stock is lightweight, weather-resistant, and carries just the right amount of texture. It shoulders fast, and the oversized loop lever cycles smoother than expected. It's not a cowboy showpiece. It's a practical, do-it-all utility rifle that happens to look pretty sharp. The XS ghost ring rear sight and brass bead front are as good as iron sights get on a lever gun, and the full-length pick rail makes optics mounting dead simple. I ran it with irons and a red dot, both handled beautifully at 50 yards. It ships with a 10-round magazine tube, which you can unload by simply pulling the inner tube, so no need to cycle each round out. MSRP is around $1,279, and from the shooting bench to teaching my buddy's kid how to shoot centerfire, this rifle proved it's not just well-built, it's thoughtful, it's versatile, and it's capable enough to sit beside any AR or bolt gun when things get serious. Now, if you're into lever guns that hit harder and ride leaner, the next one takes all that capability and wraps it in for real-world use. Henry Lever Action Supreme. I've handled lever guns my whole life, and most of them fall into two categories: old-school classics with walnut and brass, or modern takes that feel like they're chasing trends more than solving problems. The Henry Lever Action Supreme doesn't fall into either camp. It feels like someone sat down with a clean sheet of paper and said, let's make a lever rifle that just works, and make it accurate, smooth, and useful. I've been putting the .223 version through its paces, and it's clear this isn't some reworked long ranger. It's a completely fresh platform. The rifle uses AR-style mags, and the cycling is ridiculously smooth, thanks to a smartly designed linkage and a rotating AR-type bolt head. Load it up with a 20-round P-mag, top it with a red dot, and the thing just glides between shots. Every mag I tried fed clean, and it handled suppressed with no complaints. The 18-inch barrel is free-floated, not something you see often on a lever action, and it's threaded 1/2 by 28. The trigger is adjustable, and mine broke just above 3 pounds. It's clean and repeatable. I ran 77-grain match loads, and was grouping just under an inch at 100 yards off bags. That's unheard of for a lever rifle of this size and weight. The tang, safety, and lever block work together without getting in the way. Even the rear sight, which uses swappable inserts, feels thoughtfully built. At around $1,299, it's not cheap. But after you shoot it, it makes sense. It's a tool for folks who want lever feel with AR flexibility and bolt gun precision. Now, if you're more into raw firepower in a short package, the next lever rifle discards that traditional look and cranks the horsepower way up. Traditions Nitrobolt. The Traditions Nitrobolt is the most futuristic leverless lever gun I've ever laid hands on. Yeah, it's technically a muzzleloader, but it feels and functions more like a precision bolt rifle. Traditions took the firestick concept from their Nitrofire series and dropped it into a bolt-action platform with a 60-degree throw, 3-lug bolt, and a 3-position safety end. It just flat-out works. You still load the bullet from the muzzle, but the powder charge comes in the form of a Federal firestick, which drops right into the breech like a single-shot cartridge. Add a primer and you're good to go. It's a cleaner system, especially in cold, wet hunts, and it eliminates the messy guesswork that turns people off muzzleloaders in the first place. The 24-inch free-floated barrel is fluted, threaded for a brake or suppressor, and built with a 124 twist to stabilize modern conical bullets like power belts. It comes with an adjustable stock with LOP spacers and an adjustable cheek riser, and the recoil pad does its job well. I spent a range day at SHOT 2025 behind this thing, and it handled tighter than most budget bolt guns I've shot. The bolt knob is threaded 5/16 -24 if you want to swap it out, and cleaning it is shockingly easy. Drop the bolt in backward and the whole thing strips down in seconds. All that for $995, and suddenly you've got a muzzleloader that's accurate, modular, and more intuitive than half the entry-level bolt guns on the wall. This isn't some black powder throwback. It's a streamlined, legal-seasoned precision tool. And if you thought that was wild, wait until you see the next lever action. Herring Bandito 5.56 pistol. The Herring Bandito pistol doesn't just push the lever action into new territory. It rips the old playbook in half and rewrites it from the ground up. I got my hands on the 5.56 NATO variant, and calling this a lever action almost feels misleading. It's compact, fast, and modular in ways that feel more AR-15 than Winchester 94, and that's exactly what makes it so impressive. Built on aerospace-grade 7075T6 forged receivers, the Bandito runs a mil-spec 8-lug rotating bolt inside a 4150 vanadium steel barrel with a gas nitrocarburized finish for corrosion resistance. The barrel's 7.25 inches, threaded 1/2 by 28, so suppressor-ready out of the box. It accepts any AR-15 magazine, so you're not limited by proprietary mags or strange calibers. And if 5.56 isn't your flavor, the multi-caliber receiver and AR pattern bolt and barrel extension system mean caliber swaps are on the table without special tools. At just 4.2 pounds and 21.25 inches long, it handles like a lever-action PDW. The M-Lock aluminum handguard, hardcoat anodized finish, and captured push-pin takedown give it a level of modern refinement and serviceability I haven't seen in anything else with a lever. It runs smoother than you'd expect thanks to its short, efficient throw. And the layout, with the safety mag release grip angle, feels intuitive for anyone used to black rifles. MSRP hasn't been widely published yet. But for a next-gen platform this advanced, expect it to live north of the $2,000 mark. This is a lever gun for folks who grew up on ARs and want something just as capable but legally different and mechanically cooler. Next up is something surprising despite being absurdly cheap. Savage Arms Revel. The Savage Revel Classic had no business being this good for under $500. I say that as someone who's put a few hundred .22s downrange in my life and still has a soft spot for old Marlins and the odd Browning BL-22. But when I pulled the Revel out of the box, shouldered it, and felt that clean 2.5-pound trigger break, I knew Savage wasn't just filling a catalog slot they built this rifle to perform. The action is slick, not mushy. Feeding was perfect across 5 different types of ammo, from CCI mini-mags to cheap Winchester Wildcats. The 12-round tubular magazine loads the traditional way, through the inner brass tube, and every round cycles smoothly, even during fast strings. At the bench, the Remington Ranch Hand 38 grain put up a sub-inch group at 25 yards with iron sights, which is about all my 70-year-old eyes, and that black-on-black front post would allow. Build-wise, it's a layered affair. Steel upper receiver for strength, aluminum lower to keep weight down, and a hard-coated aluminum cover that's drilled and tapped for optics. The 18-inch barrel is matte blued with a 1 in 16 twist, and the takedown feature makes it a great truck gun or camp rifle. Pop 2 pins, split the action, and it stows in half the space. At $439, it's about as no-nonsense as a modern lever-action .22 gets. Reliable, accurate, and honestly better built than I expected. This is a squirrel rifle that deserves to be passed down, but also won't mind being bounced around in a backpack.